Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here this morning and participating in the learning program. It's hard to believe that we're already up to Pesach. I know I couldn't even believe that, and when I agreed to do this, I didn't realize it was this morning. That it was like, wow, that was fast, like right after Purim. But Shloshim Yom Kodem HaChag is when we're supposed to start to prepare for Pesach. And with all the mitzvot that we're going to speak about a little bit now, all the mitzvot that have to do with Pesach, it makes sense that we need to really start especially early. I wanted to talk a little bit this morning about the idea that we have so many mitzvot on Pesach, and it gets a little overwhelming, I think, for all of us, especially for home for Pesach, all the preparation. If we're not, of course, all the shopping and the packing. To each their own. It's a holiday that requires a lot of preparation and a lot of mitzvot before and after and during and after, and sometimes it's easy to get lost in the details. So it's good to take a minute just to think about kind of what it all means. So I want to take a topic that's very familiar to us, but yet we're going to see that really the history of it is really not so familiar, and try to see what we can learn from it. And the topic is leaning at the Seder, especially for the Arba Koso. Okay, so let's take a look at the Gemara, and we'll learn through it together. There's English if you want, or you could just listen. The Gemara in Pesachim Daf Kuf Chet says as follows: Itmar, we learned matzah tzarich haseba. When it comes to the mitzvah of eating matzah at the Seder, we know that. What do? Do we have to lean or not? We all know you have to lean right? When you eat the matzah, you have to lean. Exactly which matzah and all that. I'm not going to go into that right now. The Mefarshim talk about. What about maror? Maror ain't tzarich haseba. Maror, you don't have to lean. What's the reason? What would you say is the reason? What do we know? Why matzah yes and maror no? Not free with the maror, and leaning symbolizes freedom. And maror is slavery, so you don't lean for that. But matzah is freedom. Lean for the matzah. Okay, it fits. Yayin. What about yayin? What about 4 cups? What about the arba koso? Itmar mishmeid Rav Nachman tzarich haseba. Itmar mishmeid Rav Nachman ain't tzarich haseba. I'm on the 5th line. So we have 2 traditions in the name of Rav Nachman. Some students quote Rav Nachman as saying you have to lean for the 4 cups. Other students said no. Rav Nachman said you don't have to lean for the 4 cups. Which is it? V'lo pligi, 6th line. There's no argument. Depends on which cups you're talking about. It says 4 cups. We're dividing them into like 2 sets. There's the first 2 and the second 2. One time Rav Nachman said you're not supposed to lean. He was talking about one of these sets of cups. And the one time when he says you're not supposed to lean, he was talking about the other one of the sets of cups. So there's really no contradiction in the traditions. He's talking about 2 different things. So all of a sudden we have 4 cups, now we're splitting them into 2. Let's take a look at the bottom of the column here to see what we're talking about. When do we drink the 4 cups? Let's just a little refresher from last year. So the first cup we drink, of course, is Kiddush, right? Everyone knows that. And then when do we drink the second kos? So after Kiddush is when we do the whole Karpas and Magid and Manishtana and Avadim Hayinu, etc., etc. We have a bracha, right? Pesach Matzah Mara, Sherge Alanu. Then we drink the second cup. Fine. Then we go wash, right? We have the meal, we have the korech, we have the matzah, mar, everything. Then we bench, we drink the 3rd cup, and then we do Hallel with the big Hallel, with the Hallel HaGadol, and then we do the 4th cup. That's basically the framework of the Seder. So it seems so long, but yet here it seems so short, but somehow it doesn't take so short. So if I asked you, which 2 cups was Rav Nachman, before we go on to the end of the Gemara, what would you think? Which 2 cups would he say you're supposed to lean for? And which 2 cups would you say not supposed to lean for? Or you don't have to lean for?
Not first 2.
You should not lean for the first 2, but you should lean for the second 2. What's your logic?
Progression of the 90-year slave and then freedom.
Going from slavery to freedom. So at the end, I like how you said it's a progression, or it's a process. So at the end is the freedom. You want to lean at the end. Very good. Anyone want to have thinking?
Magid and Hallel.
Oh, so you think, okay, but
there's another one.
So you're doing numbers 2 and 4.
2 and 4. Hallel.
Hallel's Hallel.
We just told the whole story, so let's prove it.
Okay, any other takers? You go 1 and 4?
I like Adam.
What are the odds?
I say number 1, we're on 3, and then we leave, we delve into the story, we don't
Interesting.
and then we finish out triumphantly.
I'm with Mari. Sanctify the day.
Because she's drunk already.
This is drunk already.
She's like,
You're going over here. What's your name? Adam. Adam. Okay, so you're agreeing with Adam. Okay. Anyone else? 2, 3. Just to round it out. Yeah.
They go together.
Yeah.
And then like there's little dovetails.
so you think or don't leave?
No, 2, 3 you lean.
2, 3 lean.
1, 4 you don't.
Okay.
I think that we always make tradition, we always bench. There's nothing really. We do that anyway. Mom, we just told the story, we're free.
Okay. So it's like the 2 special things for the Seder.
Look on with this verse.
logic.
This verse, you really by the end of Magi, did you really say you should lean? Because the progression already happened. We're already free by the end of Magi.
Right.
Right? So that's not an option to do 1 and 2 3/4.
Let's see. Okay, let's go to the videotape here. Let's see. So it's line 8, 6, 7, 8, line 8. Amri la lahai gisa, vi amri la lahai gisa. So actually, there's even a debate on the debate. Okay, you with me? So it's a debate as to which way Rav Nachman was saying his halacha. Amri, so we're going to see now which one of what you guys said is right. Amri la lahai gisa. One way that there were those in the Beis Medrash who explained it one way, the following: Trei kasei kamai, the first 2 kosot, bo heseba, require heseba. So that's 1 and 2. Why? Tehashtahu dekamatcha lacherut, because now is when you're starting to go to freedom. Trei kasei batroi lo bo heseba. The second 2 cups do not require heseba. My hava hava, because what what happened already. Okay, first 2 cups you're going to freedom, you need to lean. Second 2 cups, what happened. You don't need to worry about it.
That's really what you said. We usually call it how of invention because of the regular things we do. So we need to lean from it. First 2,
Yeah. Let's see. Amri lala hagiza, but there were those who said exactly the opposite logic. Adarabba, the opposite. Trei kasei batrai, the second 2 cups, bo heseba, require heseba. Hahi shaita de kahav yecheret. Because at the second 2 cups, what Adam said, the second 2 cups, that is when you're free. Eliza, that's when you're free. Trei kasei kamai, the first 2 cups, lo bo heseba. You don't lean in the beginning, the first 2. The akati avadim hayinu kamar, because you're still at the stage of avadim hayinu. And you don't have to lean, or you shouldn't be leaning at the beginning because you're saying avodim hayinu. But at the end, you're free. You should be leaning. It's interesting. It seems like to me it's almost the same logic but pulled in opposite directions. It seems like they're both agreeing that as you were saying, there's a progression, there's a process here of the Seder. You start off at one point and you move through it to freedom. Right? Start off with that one. Question is, where is it appropriate to lean? While you're becoming free, or once you're free, and you're right, the Magid, you could say it's still hollow towards the end of Magid. That's a good question. So it's like tricky, right?
Or the slaves say kiddush?
Right? You would think not. So we're gonna try to answer some of these questions. Let's just see the last line. The last line of the Gemara, the conclusion is, and this is the question: how do we get to what we do today? Right? We all grew up in the what was that in the Maxwell house? Tells you to lean for all the cups. So where does that come from? There's no whole shiur about it. So it says hashta ditmar hachi vitmar hachi. Now that we learn this way and we learn that way, now that we have all this different logic, we have to lean for both sets, or all 4 rather. So even the conclusion seems very strange, because the Ran actually points out both the 4 cups themselves are a mitzvah d'Rabbanan. It's not a d'oraisa, right? Matzah is d'oraisa, Moro used to be d'oraisa, Pesach, Magid is d'oraisa, but the 4 cups is d'Rabbanan. When it comes to D'Rabbanan, what's the rule when it comes to a suffik D'Rabbanan? If you're not sure what to do for a D'Rabbanan, L'kula. You go L'kula. Leaning is also D'Rabbanan. L'kula. Why is it that we go L'chumra here? We're not sure what to do, so lean and drink for everything. Seems like unusual, an unusual conclusion.
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
I have a new idea.
A new idea, okay.
The first cup you haven't said a bracha yet.
Okay.
By the fourth cup you've already benched, so you need to say new bracha. The second two you've already kind of said a board for at some point.
Okay. And therefore?
So you lean for the two new brachas per se.
Two for the new brachas? Okay, that's
deviating from the story entirely.
No, but that's, you know what? We're going to keep coming up with ideas. Okay. So so I want to propose perhaps a way to understand the Gemara and a way to understand the conclusion of the Gemara based on the following construct. And the construct is as follows. This is a classic chakira in yeshiva called siman and a siba. Is anyone who's like like legal thinking, is something a siba means a cause? Does something cause something else? Or is it a siman, meaning it's a reflection or an expression of something? So the question would be about, in our case, leaning at the Seder. Is leaning at the Seder, is that supposed to cause you to feel a certain way? Or is that an expression of how you're feeling? You got the difference, right? So which one is it? What would you say? Is it?
Because it's an expression. Because we're free, we lean.
Because you're free, you're leaning as an expression of your freedom.
Maybe the first two, it's trying to make you feel that way, and the last two, you're
She got the whole share. Look at that, unbelievable. Sponsor family. So, exactly. So, what we could say that's exactly it. That the first opinion in the Gemara that explains, or Rabbi Menachem says you're supposed to lean at the beginning, he's saying that that approach is saying that the reason why we're leaning is that it's a siba, it's supposed to cause us to feel a certain way. And that's why at the beginning, even though we're just at the beginning of the process, we're still avodim hayinu, we're supposed to lean then because, please join us, chair. We're supposed to lean then because it's supposed to get us, so to speak, get us in the mood and make us feel like we're free. The second opinion, though, that says, no, the beginning of Avodim Hayinu, you're not supposed to lean, you're supposed to lean at the end, he says, they all agree that the Seder is a process, but he says that the whole point of leaning, exactly, is an expression of how we feel. At the beginning, I'm not feeling free yet. I just finished scrubbing the ovens and the preparing of the Seder, and I'm still saying Avodim Hayinu, I'm not in the mood yet. At the end of the Seder, that's when I'm feeling relaxed and free. That's when it's appropriate to lean. That's really a true expression of how I'm feeling. So that's the debate in the two parts of the Gemara. So how do we understand the conclusion? So the Ran actually, he asked the question, why do we do both? It's after all, it's a suffix d'Rabbanan. So he gives two reasons. He gives two answers. One answer he gives is, well, it's not such a big deal. So you lean, all right. So l'chumra, when it's d'Rabbanan and it's easy to do it, you might as well just do both. Another reason that he gives is that if you would go l'kula here, suffix d'Rabbanan l'kula, what would we say? Which one would you do, right? Then you would wind up leaning by neither. So because going l'kula would be to basically uproot the whole thing altogether, you can't do that. Therefore, you have to lean for both. But according to our logic, what we can say is, really the conclusion of the Gemara is it mutually exclusive? Does leaning have to be either one or the other? Or could it be both? And the character just changes. So at the beginning, both are true. At the beginning, why are we leaning? So to speak, to get us in the mood of it, to make us feel free. Even though I don't feel it yet, I'm leaning as a siba, I'm leaning as a cause to make me feel a certain way. Once I get to the end of the Seder, I'm no longer leaning for that reason, but the reason, I'm doing the same action, but the reason changes and becomes now an expression of how I'm feeling. It becomes a more natural expression of how I'm feeling. And that's why I think that makes a lot of sense, and that's why really it's idi vidi bo aseba. Now that I said this logic and that logic, both lines of reasoning make a lot of sense, and we could fulfill both of them, and they could both come and have their expression at the Seder and Arba Koso. So that's the Arba Koso. What I think is that we could learn from this is that this concept is not just about Arba Koso, but it can really help us with the whole Pesach in general, and truthfully Mitzvot in general. That Mitzvot in general have this dual character. Mitzvot guide our lives, and so as Orthodox Jews, we have so many things that we have to do all the time. And what's the role of all these mitzvot? We know the Sefer HaChinuch famously says, "Acharei ha'pulot nimshachim al levavot," that mitzvot are supposed to refine our character. Even if we don't want to do it, it's supposed to make us better people. right? Tzedakah, of course, is the best example. I don't want to give tzedakah. It's my money. I worked hard for it. I don't have so much. But you know what? Every time you stick your hand in your pocket, you become a better person. Every time you open up your home for a guest, even though I don't feel like it, I want some privacy, you know what? It makes you a better person. It refines your character. Sometimes we really feel like it. I'm excited. I want to daven. I want to go to shul, or I want to Shabbos. I'm excited about it. Other times I'm not so excited. I really wish I could do something, a certain way, and I can't do it because I can't, kosher, whatever it is. So the mitzvot, we're constantly going back and forth. Sometimes mitzvot in our lives are an expression of how we feel, and a lot of times they're causing us to feel a certain way. And sometimes it's the exact same mitzvah that one day I'm performing it, like davening is a great example, right? Some days I'm tired, I'm like barely dragging myself out of bed, but you know what? I'm doing because I got to do it. And other times, you know what? I'm so thankful for something that just happened in my life where I really need something, and the davening just pours right out. So the exact same mitzvah could change the character. And I think you see that, it's a good test case. This Gemara of the Arba Kosa, I think, is teaching us this concept. At the beginning of the Seder, we're starting off a certain way with a certain character, and it's changing throughout the Seder to take on a whole different character, even though it's the same mitzvah that we're doing throughout, and it's the same progression, but the mitzvah is guiding us through the night, through the Seder. So an idea that we can take with us, hopefully, to the Seder and really beyond.